as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. So now Tannehill leading his crew to the line to go for two. Lewis will get the handoff, and he will get in to make it 8-0. So they kept it on the ground, got it into the end zone. But Charles, sometimes you probably see teams treat a two-point conversion differently than if it was first and goal from the two, or I should say third and goal from the two.
I agree with you totally on that. A lot of teams treat it as if they have farther to go and shy away from running the football. I think this is a great spot to do it because most teams play you for the pass. Go ahead and run and let your linemen surge and fire out. Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Looking deep, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Logan Ryan, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. A 20th carry down for Derrick Henry. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
70, Indy. 54.
Here we go.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. That'll get them some of what they needed, but they're still left here with a 3rd and 9 forthcoming. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. A toss left. Henry shoves him aside. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. We have hit. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go.
Patriots, nothing.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Tom Brady leads the offense out for their next possession. Any surprise in your mind he's out there to start the second half after 4 first-half interceptions?
I used to be surprised by a lot of things, Parker, but in this case I'm not because you know they want him to be their guy. And the only way to truly establish that is to give him a chance to work through some of the issues he had in the first half.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Wow, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
The former 7th-round pick, Julian Edelman, just continues to have such a productive career.
And has made himself into a receiver. Remember, he was a college quarterback, and not just a productive one, a very good one.
At Kent State, right?
Yes, a great leader, a guy who could make plays with his feet and his arm. Got to the NFL and had to convert into being a...
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. 25 yards for the touchdown as his guys have cut the lead down to 2. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way.
I like the strategy. Extra tight end. You probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. And some room to maneuver. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. Pushes by another. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down to that. Sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And he will take this one in for a Titans touchdown. Derrick Henry, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Titans have taken the lead. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
And he will get into the end zone again, and he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point. Conversion. Joseph now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. So the Patriots coming out now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. when you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So Brady and the Pats take over 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll run it here. This is James White. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made. And that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense? And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little.
Derrick Henry all alone. Touchdown, Titans. Derrick Henry, 43 yards. And the Titans are able to extend their lead. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. The 3rd time wasn't a charm. They got the first 2 two-point tries, still have the lead, but couldn't get the 3rd.
Okay, so they didn't get this one, but I have to ask you, what matchup are they seeing that they feel that confident to go for 2 so often?
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. A fumble return touchdown for the Titans. So they get the 1-score kickoff, get a fumble, take... Get right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
So the Titans bring the offense back out to go for 2. And before they can get the play off, here's a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball. That's their first of this 2nd half. The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. So a big play there. Not only the fumble return for the touchdown, then they get the 2-point try. And, you know, for the defense, though, they were just over there sitting on the field. They had to rush out to try to defend that.
You know, it's funny. They actually practice situations that they call sudden change when the team turns it over. I guarantee you no one practices a fumble return for a touchdown like that, and now someone goes for 2. Really good strategy by them putting them in that situation.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jayon Brown coming in hard that time on the blitz, and he gets him down. It's a loss of 4.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Here's Brady. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. And now here is another interception. Picked by Kevin Byard. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. He was looking for Edelman there. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder.
And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Titans capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Now Tannehill, and this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did.
Come on now, let's go.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Now a pass here caught by Edelman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Back now in Nashville. It's Patriot football, but they trail here as we begin the 4th quarter. Brady now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Throwing now is Brady. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Now Brady, he's got Lacoste, his tight end. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 44-yard line.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Well, meanwhile, the throw by Brady knocked away, incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10.
Back to you. I'm going back to you.
To throw again. Brady. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end. And it'll be intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out. Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And so Derrick Henry all alone. The 20, 10, touchdown Titans. Derrick Henry, 69 yards. As his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Ryan Suckup on for the point after. And he takes off with it. It's a fake. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. And he is not going to get to the goal line. And for the first time here this afternoon, they are thwarted on the 2-point conversion. Joseph now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Here we go.
Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the end.
And, my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. They begin with Henry.
You better come hard next time.
Fights off another.
I think the second tackle would have learned from the first.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Henry.
That's it, huh?
Derrick Henry all alone. And stiff arm. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there. And often you talk about the three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
Well, they are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the two-point conversion for good measure. Joseph now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they wanted to.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. And his defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now Brady. He's going to air it out for Dorsett. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the safety, Kenny Vaccaro.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When you go to the backup, let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Henry. Shrugs him off. Still on his feet. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set them back for 2nd down.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They'll go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or 2, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
This is Henry. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Devin McCourty picks it off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. On 4th down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, 4th down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. A first down carry for Henry. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a... Clicking, they think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.